Hi. All right. I am excited for today as well. We have a full hour of ear training. And if you have watched any of the 30 Day Singer videos, you know I'm very obsessed with ear training and intonation. Um, and I'm excited to get started. So what you'll need in order to follow along, you do need a chromatic tuner. So check the resource list in the video description. Tuner.ninja is just the quickest one I have for you because you don't have to download anything. It's just a website to use. But there are other resources as well. So hi, Noor. Hi, Nay. Thank you for joining. So check out that resource list. Pull up tuner.ninja, your chromatic tuner. The reason this is important is because, we are looking to sing exact pitches. We're not just trying to approximate pitches. So we want to make sure that you are singing those pitches that we're intending to sing. And unless you have a voice teacher sitting right next to you today, you need a tuner to make sure. All right. So first up, we will walk through the major scale and we'll talk about the intervals within it. So the major scale is just a collection of pitches in a specific order. It sounds like this. That's the major scale going up and down. And I'm going to play a different major scale, but you'll notice that it sounds pretty similar. It's just everything is a little bit higher. So I just played a C major scale. Now I'm going to play a D major scale. That means instead of starting and ending on C, I start and end on D. So you're just listening. You don't have to sing yet. So that was a D major scale. The intervals, the order of intervals is the same. So once you've learned how to sing a major scale, you can sing any major scale. It's just a matter of starting on a different pitch and then, of course, ending on a different pitch as well. So we're going to start in C major. We almost always start in C major because it's the easiest to instruct with. The key of C major has no sharps or flats. So if you take a look in your resource list and pull up one of the virtual keyboards, the one that I like is HarpKit because it has the pitches on the keys themselves. So you can see C4, D4, E4, F4. And I know you might have a couple of windows open and have to do a little bit of juggling, but make sure you've got your chromatic tuner at least. And then if you want to play those pitches along with your virtual keyboard, you can do that as well. So starting with the C major scale, the pitches within it are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. So you notice C repeats this pattern of the musical alphabet. It repeats. We only have a musical alphabet of A to G, and then it starts over. So you'd notice I'm starting at C, D, E, F, G. I've reached the end of the musical alphabet. So we start over again at A, B, C. Okay, so the intervals of the major scale. And remember, this stays consistent whether I'm playing a C major scale, an F major scale, a G major scale. The interval or the order of intervals goes like this. It is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. I'm going to write that down for you. And I want you to, so whole, half, whole, half. Okay, I want you to go to another website in the resource list, and you can fact check me. You don't have to just take me at my word. So I'm actually going to go to our music theory live lesson because I have a bunch of resources in there. So I'm just grabbing from that. Okay, so the resource you're looking for is Major Scales, and it's pianoscales.org/major. So if you pull that up as well, you can see C major, the notes within, which I just listed, and then all the other major keys as well. Don't worry about the fingerings unless you are a piano player and you want to know how to play it the most, smooth, efficient way. So we're starting on C major. Notice all of the blue keys are what we're singing or playing. So we've got our pattern: whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. A whole step occurs between C and D. Call it a whole step because notice that there's one little black key in between C and D. A half step on the keyboard, if you go from one key to the very next key in either direction, whether it's another white key or a black key, that is a half step. So if you go 2 of those, you've got a whole step. So looking at pianoscales.org/major, C up to that little black key right next to C, that's C sharp or D flat. I know that's confusing, but it's the same key. And then to D, that's the next white key up. So that is a whole step. So walk now, we've got whole. D to E is another whole step because notice there's a black key in between. Whole, whole, half. Here's our first half step. If you go from E to F, there's no black key in between. So E and F are both white keys. E to F is a half step. So remember our order of the major scale: whole, whole, half. And then we've got 3 whole steps in a row: whole, whole, whole. You can see there's black keys in between, denoting the half steps in between. And then our last half step occurs between B and C. See, there's no black key in between there. So a whole step, this is the first interval we'll learn today. A whole step sounds like this. Or down the octave, I'm playing C to D. That's an ascending whole step. A descending whole step sounds like this. And the easiest song to remember for this interval is Happy Birthday. So if you sing Happy Birthday, happy birthday, you're singing a major second or a whole step going up and back down. So try that with me. Start on C, either C4 or C3. Starting there, sing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday. You just sang a whole step. So now sing whole step from C to D. Whole step. Now from D to E, we've got another whole step. Whole step. Or happy birthday. And now our first half step from E to F. Half step. Notice it's a smaller interval. What song has a half step in it? Da 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 da. I actually need to look that up. So I have one more resource to share that I forgot to put in the video description, but I will later. So this is an interval song chart generator. Someone is saying it's confusing. Don't worry, we'll get to singing and hopefully it'll get less confusing. So if you go to that link I just posted in the comments, we have a minor second. That's the same thing as a half step. And let's see, a song example with a minor second or half step is Isn't She Lovely? Okay, so isn't, that's a half step. Or do you guys know any of these other songs? I don't know a lot of those. Probably the most well-known is the Jaws theme. I know this, for young people, you might not have seen that movie, but da-da, 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 that's the Jaws theme. And it's also a half step. Okay, so the reason this is important is when you're singing a major scale, you're singing whole steps, 1, 2, 3, and then you have a half step, which is very small, 4. You're back to whole steps. 5, 6, 7. And then between 7 and 8, you have another half step. 7, 8. So with that in mind, imagine you've got a staircase and your stairs are all the same height, except for those half steps are a little bit shorter. So let's start on C, either C4 for altos and sopranos, C3 for tenors and basses. And really slowly, we're going to walk up the major scale, check your pitch accuracy with your chromatic tuner. Sing on numbers with me. So we'll sing 1, 2, 3, about that slow. I'm going to play the pitch first so you get it in your head and in your ear, and then sing. Please don't sing right away. Don't skip the step of actually developing the pitch in your brain first. So I'm going to play it, then we sing 1. So it'll go like this. 1, 2. Okay, here goes. Get your starting pitch, C4 or C3. Here we go, listening and then singing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's walk down. Remember, but between 8 and 7 is just a half step, very, very small step. Starting at 8, and we're doing a descending major scale now. Here we go. Listen first. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's pick up our pace. Hopefully you were able to match pitch as we went. If you ever got stuck, use that chromatic tuner and don't give up until you're actually singing the correct pitch. If you're just approximating, if you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you're really not singing those pitches, that is not a good habit to get into. We really want to be accurate. Good singing requires that we be accurate with our pitches. So a little bit faster now, if you can, again, singing on numbers. And still, I'm going to play the pitch and then we sing it. Here we go, a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Descending, same speed. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. So now I'm going to move this down to a lower key, just slightly. So we're going from the key of C to the key of B. This simulates what vocal warm-ups and vocal exercises do. They move from key to key. So this should be very familiar to you if we're going da 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 da. We're always moving in half steps. A vocal exercise routine is never random. We're not going like this. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Even though it might feel random to you sometimes, we are always shifting by just one key up or one key down. In other words, one half step up or one half step down. So if we start on the C major scale, which we did, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If we're going down, our 1 is just shifting a half step lower. And now we're in the key of B. So walk through the key of B with me. Look at your piano major scale, scroll down until you see B. And look, we've got some sharps now to deal with. So the key of C is the only major key that has no sharps or flats. All the other keys, in order to have that whole, whole, half pattern, have to include sharps or flats. So look at these pitches: B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, and B. And if I play it quickly, it sounds pretty identical to the C major scale. Our starting and ending note just shifted down, and so all of the pitches also shifted down by 1/2 step. So let's practice singing the B major scale. We're going to sing it again on numbers and be very, very intentional, very accurate with your tuning. We're going to go not quite as slow, but still listen and repeat. So get your starting note. It's either B3 or B2. Lock into that. Now walking up the scale. Listen first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Walking down, starting at 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And of course, we could move down even further to the key of B flat. If you want to work on your tuning, you could do this on your own. You can have your piano major scale and your virtual keyboard and your chromatic tuner, and you can walk through C, B, B flat, A flat, G, until you get to a point where it's too low for you to sing or too high for you to sing. But you could, presumably do this. So let's jump back to the key of C major. And I want to talk about intervals getting from C to other pitches within that scale. This is important because the melodies we sing, the songs we sing, are not just scales, right? We have jumps to different notes. So a very, very important tip, I think, for beginning singers is to have a map of the melody in your head when you're singing. So if you're singing, we always use really well-known public domain songs. So if I'm singing the Star Spangled Banner and I'm going, oh, say, having a map that I'm going from like a, medium note, I'm jumping down and then I'm jumping down again. Oh, say. And then, can you notice I'm singing the same pitches on the way up that I did on the way down. Oh, say, can you? That sounds a lot like a vocal exercise. Mum, 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 doesn't it? So, oh, say, can you see? And then having in your head from you to see is a big jump. It's not just a little step up. You see, and then from see to buy is another big jump. And I think a problem for a lot of beginning singers is when they just approximate the melody. They go, oh, say, can you see? And they're not getting those big, big leaps. So having an accurate mental map of the melody is so, so important. That's why I'm having us listen before we sing to develop that inner ear. Another thing that you can do that I think is extremely helpful is to look up the sheet music of the song you're singing. I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent. We'll get back to the keyboard. But whatever song you're singing, look up sheet music, and then include PDF in your search as well to look for a free version that's been uploaded. Sometimes you do have to pay for the sheet music if you want to see the whole thing. But oftentimes we can find a nice little free version. So for example, I'm working with a student right now on the song Requiem from the musical Dear Evan Hansen. So that's in my search history. I'm pulling it up. I was able to find a free version of that. And even though my student does not read sheet music, or, they're a baby beginner in reading sheet music, we use the sheet music as the map of the melody. And the only thing you need to know as a beginning singer is that if the note is higher on the page or on the staff, that means it's a higher pitch. And if it's lower on the page, it's a lower pitch. You'll start to develop an awareness, even if you can't look at the sheet music and sing it off the page. That's not what I'm expecting, but that you're able to follow. Okay, I see that, I'm gradually stepping up, or, oh, I see I have a lot of repeated notes. The note is sitting on the same bar line or the same space. This will really, really help you. And again, you don't need to be able to read sheet music or even know what those pitches are. This is solely for the purpose of having a mental and internal map of the melody. So back to... Tanya has a question real quick. I'm trying to ask if it's better to sing scale in 5-tone or 7-tone, and how to keep singing the scale as your notes keep changing. So Tanya, the reason that you would use a 5-tone scale, Tanya's talking about using the major scale, but stopping at the 5th scale degree. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe turning around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So Tanya, the reason you would do that is to avoid register shifts and maybe avoid your vocal break, or make it easier, make it an easier range to deal with. If you feel that you can navigate over your mix or middle voice well, then using those wider range, full octave or even octave and a half won't be a problem for you. But for beginning singers, we often use shorter or more narrow intervals at first. So we do a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we also do a lot of 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Okay, so that's where we're going next. We are going to sing. I drifted from the key a little bit, but we're sort of still there. Hi, Nosifo. He says, hi, I'm new. And Delvin from Zimbabwe. Hi. Delvin's a baritone, and he's asking if we help baritones. Of course, we love baritones. So Delvin, I would recommend for a beginning baritone that you search specifically for baritone warm-ups and also good songs for baritones. So I've got 2 articles for you to check out, Delvin. One is on low voice types with examples of baritones that you can listen to. And then another one I've got is how to choose a good song for your voice type, considering range, registration, and style. So here you go. And last question before we jump back in, Augustina's asking, is it okay to go into head voice while singing the scale? Absolutely. So you'll notice that's what I'm doing. If we're in the key of C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I absolutely am heading into a head voice or head voicey mix. There's no way that I'm keeping that in chest voice, and you don't have to either. For tenor and baritone and bass singers, you probably are staying in chest voice if we're in the key of C. Okay? So here we go. We're going back to the key of C, and now instead of a scale, we'll sing an arpeggio. An arpeggio is where we sing the pitches of a chord. Of course, we can't sing them all at once, so we sing them one after another. So a chord, typically we think of a chord as 3 pitches played at once. And now I need to point you to another resource. So go to the video description and look for chords within every key. Piano keyboard guide / chords by key. And you're gonna have to scroll down. I guess this one doesn't spell out the chords for you. That's okay. That's all right. So I just want to walk you through this as well. Scroll down to just the first chart that you see. It says chords in all major keys. It has major keys on the side, scale degree in green above, and then it has the chord quality. So if we're singing in the key of C major, you'll notice we have these different chords that are built using the pitches of the major scale. I hope you stick with me here. So if I play a C, and then I skip the D and play E, skip F and play G, I am playing a C major chord, and that belongs in the key of C major. Now, if I move everything up one step, ooh, what happened there? Now I'm playing D, skipping E and playing F, skipping G and playing A. Now I'm playing a D minor chord. And if we kept going like this, now move up to E, the next note in the C major scale, and skip one note, play the next, skip another note, play the next. Now we're playing E minor. Minor chords have kind of that sad sound to them. Major chords, by contrast, have that happy, triumphant sound. So this is the last chord I'll play in the key of C, starting on F, skip G and play A, skip B and play C. Now, all of those chords belong in the key of C major. Typically for a vocal exercise, more often than not, we are just concerned with singing the C major chord. Or if we're in a different key, if we're in the key of D, for example, singing a D major chord. And what that sounds like, that is singing C, E, G, E, C. So notice, we started with what we call stepwise motion. We were walking through the scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we continued up. But now we're skipping over some notes. We're leaping over, the D and the F in this situation. We're going C, E, G, and then we could walk back down as well. C, E, G, E, C. So there is space between the pitches that we're singing. Remember that tip of developing a mental map? You want to do that for vocal exercises as well. If you have an exercise, for example, like mum, 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 mum. Listen and see if you can follow along. Are any of those little steps, or are they leaps? Are they small leaps? Are there some big leaps? Listen, I'll play. Mum, 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 mum. What do you think? Those pitches are C, E, G, C. And coming back down, G, E, and C. So this is what we call a major arpeggio. A major chord, and an arpeggio is where we sing the pitches or play the pitches individually. So a piano arpeggio. That reminds me of a song. What is that song? If you know it, let me know. Anyways, so when we are warming up our voice, oftentimes we'll use arpeggios. So let's practice singing a major arpeggio. We'll sing starting in the key of C. 1, 1, 3, 5, 8. That's where the biggest leap occurs, between 5, or G in this case, to C. 8. So if you're singing this and you're going 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1, or even 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1, you're not singing it correctly. You're not getting high enough on that 8th scale degree. So really slowly, in the key of C, sing 1. We'll listen and repeat again. So here it goes. 1, 3, 5, 8. Coming back down. 5, 3, 1. I'll sing the pitches instead this time. So pattern's the same, but I'm going to sing the pitches instead of scale degrees. So C, E, G, C. Not the same C. You should be on a C, the octave higher. So if you started on C4, C4, E4, G4, C5. And if you started on C3, C3, E3, G3, C4. Okay. By the way, those octave numbers, they change over to the next number at C. So I know it's so confusing. Why wouldn't it start over at A? It just doesn't. So anyways, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, that's all in what we call the third octave, or C3, D3. If you have HarpKit open, you'll see this, and I don't have to explain it. But anyways, okay, so now we'll move this down. Actually, let's move it up. We went down the last time. Let's move it up. So I just moved from C to D flat. And listen to the chord change. You're going to hear everything shift up 1/2 step higher. So here's a C major chord, and here's a D flat major chord. Listen really carefully and see if you can just isolate the bottom pitch moving up 1/2 step. The reason I want you to do that is because in an exercise like this, mum, 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 your next starting note is going to be 1/2 step higher. Mum, 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 mum. There's my ending note, and now my new starting note. So this can help you anticipate the key changes within a vocal warm-up, so it doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, it's getting higher, it's getting lower, I don't know what's happening. Now you do know what's happening. We're changing keys by 1/2 steps every time. The only confusing thing is, are we moving up or are we moving down? So I'm telling you this time, we are moving up. We're starting in the key of C. And now listen to the chord change, especially the bottom note. It's kind of hard to hear. I'm going to do it again. Bottom note, here it is moving up. And that's your new starting note. So D flat, F, A flat, and D flat. That's our new major arpeggio. Regardless of what we're singing on, you could sing on mum, 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 mum. I'm just singing on numbers and pitch letter names. So you have that check if you wanted to check those pitches. So again, listen and repeat. This is D flat. D flat, F, A flat, D flat. Going back down. A flat, F, D flat. I'm going to modulate or change keys again. Listen to the bottom note changing. From here to here. And now sing. This is a D major chord. Let's sing on numbers this time. So 1, 3, 5, 8. That's where we're going. Here we go. 1, 3, 5, 8. Coming back down. 5, 3, 1. Now, as we keep going, we might run into some registration issues. Registration issues being maybe you haven't quite learned how to navigate over that middle section of your voice. That typically is the toughest thing for beginning singers. So if you want to work on ear training, make the range easier for you. So you can work on your ear training just staying in the key of C, for example. If you want to really drill, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, and get that really in tune, and then maybe move by just a half step in either direction. That's okay. For a beginning singer, it is really a lot to ask that we are singing in tune and also dealing with those registration potential issues. A quick tip, I guess, is what Augustina brought up. So let your voice switch to head voice when it feels like it's getting too high. It's more important that we sing in tune than that we're singing, with all the same consistent tone quality, because your voice is going to shift as it goes through its different registers. So what I'm afraid of, what I don't want you to do, is get into the habit of singing out of tune just because it's the only way for you to maintain your strong sound. So an example of that would be if we were singing mum, 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 and you didn't let your voice kind of hand over or lighten at all. Oops, sorry. There we go. If you're going mum, 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 and you're not actually singing the pattern, I want you to put a little bit more weight into intonation. Mum, 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 mum. Even if that means your sound is a little bit lighter or, weaker for the time being. Anyways, we don't want to develop bad habits when it comes to our ear and tuning. So I want to walk you through a pretty fun little exercise. This is a stepwise, kind of like a bungee, I guess. If you've been in any kind of choir situation, you might have already learned this exercise. So what it is, we're returning to the key of C, by the way. What this is walking up the major scale 1 degree at a time and always returning to 1. So I'll show you how it goes. We're going to sing 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we keep going until we get to 8. When we get to 8, we'll do the same thing in reverse. We'll go 8, 8, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so any choir people out there that are like, oh yeah, I remember doing this. Okay, I'm going to, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. Tanya's asking, so would whole octave be better to strengthen my mixed voice? Yes. Tanya, if you're working on mix, if you're going for, that nice bub, 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 or mum, 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 that will help you to, find that coordination, because you can't just stay all in chest voice to sing a whole octave or octave and a half. So yes, definitely. Hey, Lily joined. And Tyler is saying, back to the chart, D minor and E minor are included in C major. So does that mean you can sing pitches from those 2 minor scales? Ooh, okay, Tyler, you are a little bit further ahead of where we're working on today. The short answer is No, because a chord and a scale are different. So in the key of C, I'm going to make this quick for anyone who's like, I'm lost. In the key of C, the pitches that are allowed are exactly what you've got in front of you: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. The reason D minor works is because it's using those pitches, D, F, A. That belongs in the key of C. Same with E minor. But if I play the D minor scale, oops, I did it wrong. Now I'm playing a pitch that's a B flat. That does not belong. Tyler, this is a tough question to answer because there are times where you could use that. For example, if you use what we call a borrowed chord. We got to talk about that later. Today we're kind of sticking more in beginning land. And Cece says she came on late. Are we doing piano? We are using piano, Cece. Go ahead and look in the video notes, the video description for resources. So what we're doing right now, you don't need piano for. I'm going to give you the pitches, but Cece and anyone who joined late, please do get Chromatic tuner.ninja up and running so that you can check your pitches. So what we're doing is this major scale kind of bungee. We're walking up and back down. So we start with one, I'm going to say, I think I'll give you the pitches first and then we'll go to numbers. So how this will go, just a practice round. I'm going to play and sing the pitch letter name, and then you sing it back to me. And you can sing on anything, but I'm giving you the pitch letter name so that you know what your pitch should be when you have tuner.ninja open. Okay, so starting on C4 or C3, listen to me singing and giving you the pitch, and then sing. And you could just sing on do or whatever if you want. Okay, here we go. C, C, D, C, C, D, E, D, C, C, D, E, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, F, G, A, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Last one. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Woo! So I'm interested to know which of those felt the weirdest to you. The one that feels the weirdest to me is going to the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and walking back down because we're so close to 8. We're just, a half step away. So here we go. We're going to play and sing together this time on numbers. So no more listen and repeat. We are singing together, still nice and slow. Make sure you're really solid on either C4 or C3 because that's our starting note and we keep returning to it. So if it's wrong, if you're not singing C4 or C3, if you're going ah or ah, the whole exercise is going to be wrong. Get that solid first. All right, on numbers, nice and slow. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How'd it go? I hope it went well. So the fun thing that we do sometimes, like if you were in choir or working with kids, but honestly, it's fun no matter what your age, is once you're really solid on this, of course, we'd speed it up. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's fun in itself. But the next challenge is to remove one of the scale degrees, literally to not even sing it, but to leave a space there. What I mean is, let's say I said we're doing this exercise, but we're not singing 3. How that would go is 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1. And this is so difficult because you still have to leave a spot for 3 in your mind. You have to know what 3 sounds like in order to not sing it. 1, 2. Can you hear 3 in your head? 1, 2, 3. If you can't hear 3 in your head, you're going to have a hard time making it to 4. So that's a kind of fun variation. You can, choose any random note in there to skip. The only one I would not skip is 1. That's, maybe a good challenge, but for beginners, don't skip 1. 1 is our foundation that we keep returning to. We want to be solid on that. Okay, let me quickly go through. I'm making sure that we've hit everything that I wanted to hit. I think so. Just about. The one thing that I did not do is singing all the chords within a major key. So this is kind of, this is what Tyler was kind of talking about before. To do this, let's see. Where should we start? I think let's start on B flat. Oh. I just need to figure out where that's going to end us. Okay, cool. So this will be a slightly more advanced. We're going to start in the key of B flat. That should be singable for most of us. So either B flat 3 or B flat 2. And the exercise is first singing a major chord, B flat, D, F, D, B flat, and then also singing the chords within that scale. So your next one would be C minor, C, E flat, G, E flat, C. So we need our reference chart. We need, let's see, piano chords, piano keyboard guide, chords by key, and look down to the key of B flat. and you'll see all the chords we're about to sing. So we're going to sing a B flat major, C minor, D minor, E flat major, F major, G minor, and A diminished. That one's going to be really fun. So here we go. I would like a resource as well, though, that tells you how to build those chords. But I suppose what you could do, I know I can find that for you, but for now, I'll just give you the notes, and on your own, I'll try to build. Let's see. Ooh, I think I found it. I did. Okay. So here you go. This is pianoscales.org/major harmonizing the major scale. So there it is in the chat. Go there with me. And for ease, I'm not going to do B flat. Let's do, let's do C. That's just the easiest. Note-wise, it's the first one you're going to see. So this goes through the scale degree, the note the chord is built on, the name of the chord itself. The little m means minor, by the way. If there's no little m, it means it's major. And then the notes within the chord. So here we go. Starting on C, remember it's C4 for sopranos and altos, C3 for tenors and basses. So our first chord is C major. The notes are C, E, G. So I'm going to play that and give you the pitches, and then you sing on whatever you want. You could sing do, 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 or ma, ma, ma. Here we go. Listen first. C, E, G, U. Next one up is D minor. D, F, A. E, G, B. F, A, C. I'm going to drop down with the tenors and basses, by the way. Sopranos, you can keep singing high if you want to. Our next note or chord is G major. G, B, D. A minor. A, C, E. And here's the weirdest one, B diminished. B, D, F. And what happens? That sounds very incomplete. So if you go up to the next pitch in the scale, we're back to C. So we can finish it out with a nice, beautiful C major, C, E, G. So this is a really nice resource if you want to practice singing chords. And again, that order stays the same. Look at the order here. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Okay. It's we've got a couple minutes left for questions. As usual, by the end of a live stream, I'm sweating. But if you've got questions, get them in. Tyler is saying, unfortunately, my choir teacher just read from a book. Not as clear with explaining like you, Cam. I'm learning now, though. Awesome. It's never too late to learn. And Tyler, also, I know that you're young, so it's really not too late. And so Tyler's saying it's like a 1-3-5 pattern. It is, but if we're staying within a major key, technically, it's if we're starting in C, right? It's 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, 7. If we're using the scale degrees of that key. Nocifo's saying, I'm an alto. So am I. Good to meet you, fellow alto. So my advice for you, if you're a beginning singer, similar to Delvin being a new baritone, is to look up specifically alto warm-ups and alto singers. So that one article I put in the chat, it's how to choose a good song for your voice, considering range, registration, and style. Nocifo, I think you're going to enjoy that because I list a bunch of alto singers. So if you're kind of like struggling to sing along with higher voiced singers, I've got a lot of really beautiful singers that you can listen to and maybe learn some of their songs. So that includes Alison Moyet, Amy Winehouse, Annie Lennox, Etta James, Fiona Apple, Grace Jones, Janis Joplin, Karen Carpenter, Lala Hathaway, Nina Simone, lots of great singers. And same thing for lower voiced guys as well. We've got a lot of awesome baritones and basses within that list. So check that out. Augustina's saying, I still don't know. Should I sing higher or lower? Since none of those are comfortable, only some notes for the octave higher and lower. Augustina, my answer is kind of twofold. I want you to choose songs to sing that are in your comfort zone. But when it comes to your warm-up, part of your warm-up is kind of stretching beyond your comfort zone. So if you fall a little bit more into soprano territory, you can, use a soprano warm-up or alto likewise. But know that for any singer of any voice type, a warm-up is going to be covering parts of their range that are tricky to navigate. And so you're going to be out of your comfort zone within a warm-up because there's no place to hide. We go through every key and we go from the very bottom to the very top. So when it comes to choosing songs, then you can be more picky in both the song you choose and the key that you put it in. Okay, Tyler's asking, so to make sure I got it, A minor in the key of C is A, C, E. Yes, you're correct. And A minor, the A minor chord, is going to show up in more than just the key of C. So it's always going to be A, C, E. That's how you build an A minor chord. So Tyler and everybody, look with me on this chart, Piano Keyboard Guide, Chords by Key. And take a look at A minor popping up in other keys. So A minor, yes, pops up in the key of C. Where else is it? We have it in the key of F. We have it in the key of G. That looks to be it. But anytime you see an A minor chord, that is how you build it. By the way, I've shared this before, but I just think it's a really fantastic new feature of Ultimate Guitar. So if you guys go to Ultimate Guitar with me, and please go there even if you're not an instrumentalist or a guitarist. So if you go to this site and click on any song that you're interested in learning. So let's click on Someone You Loved. Well, actually, let's click on Heather, Conan Gray. That's the top tab of the day. So if I click on Heather, now this might look confusing to you until, so it has Heather chords, keep on scrolling down, see chords and a little thumbtack by it, and then you'll see guitar, ukulele, and piano. Click piano. And then you'll see a little mini piano chart pop up, and it'll show you exactly how to play that on the keyboard. Let's see, does it give you the pitches as well? So You might have to compile more than one resource, like piano scales, major harmonizing. You can see, okay, I'm playing an F major chord, but what are those pitches? You can reference and see, oh, it's FAC. All right, easy enough. And that way you can start to learn how to accompany yourself and sing along with an instrument. Okay. Augustina is saying, I love this app. This is where I get my chords from. Yes, I love it too. It's awesome. And I'm not a guitarist. I just use it, for piano, sometimes ukulele. No CFOs, not on 30 Day Singer. That is A-okay. We are here on YouTube as well for free. So these live lessons and then other shorter lessons we also post regularly. So I encourage you to still learn with us. Tanya is saying, I want to strengthen my mixed and head voice past C5. So Tanya, good question. What lessons specifically on 30 Day Singer are going to help with that? Let me take a look with you. So I'm on the advanced page, the how to gradually sing higher. We'll cover that range. The techniques page, healthy, strong belting should go up past C5, range extension. But honestly, Tanya, I would encourage you to find a syllable that you like that is getting you that strong mixed sound, or if it's, more head voicey. So my favorites are working on a mum or b as in book, bu, 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 bu. And you can use that on any pattern, even if it's just you walking on the keyboard. So let's say the exercise is, I've given a different syllable to be singing on. If you want to work on that range, specifically your mix coordination, you can swap out for a mix friendly syllable like mum or g or b. And last question, Augustina's asking, what is next week's lesson about? Augustina, I've not planned next week. So I had the last month planned out in advance, and I have not planned next week. So I would love to hear from you. If you're on 30 Day Singer, go to the forum, and here you go. If you're new there, let me know. Create a new thread, say suggestion for live lesson, and I'd love to cover what you're interested in and what you want to learn about. All right, guys, this video will be up. So if you missed the beginning or you just want to review those exercises we went through, please do so. And I will see you next week. Have a good weekend.